This is Math 122, Homework 4, and we're going to talk about Problem 23. If you haven't watched the video for the Week 2 notes, make sure you go back and do that because the video explains quite well about slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. This is just going to be a quick review of that. You're being told that you have the equation y equals -5/4 x plus 13. And you're asked, what would the slope of a line parallel to this one look like? Well, that would be any equation with this same exact slope but a different y-intercept will be parallel to this one. So from the video you learned that parallel lines have exactly the same slope. And just think about why. Lines on a graph that are parallel have the same slant. Like these two lines, they both have a slope of 2/3. They're slanted exactly the same. Slope is just another word for slant. So all I have to do is identify the slope in this equation, and since it's in y equals mx plus b form, y equals mx plus b form, I've identified my slope. It's the m value, the coefficient of x. So the slope of a line parallel to this would be the same slope, -5/4, and that's part A. Now part B asks for the slope of a line perpendicular to this equation. I'll just write it again. Y equals -5/4 x plus 13. Well, perpendicular lines, they have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. Here's a pair of perpendicular lines, for example. This line and this line, they meet at a right angle. That's what perpendicular means. And if you check out the slopes, this one has a slope of -5/4, and this one has a slope of +4/5, and they do meet at a right angle, and that's not a coincidence. From the video, you should have learned that perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. Now, what does that mean, opposite reciprocals? Well, I just showed you a little sketch where a slope of a line perpendicular to this one has a slope of -5/4. If I take and flip that number upside down and make it 4/5, and I give it the opposite sign. This is -5/4, so this is going to be +4/5. Lines with these two slopes will run into each other and make right angles. And this one had a slope of +4/5. This one had a slope of -5/4. And those two lines were perpendicular. So opposite reciprocals. Take the slope of the line you were given, flip it upside down, and make sure that it has the opposite sign of the slope given. Let's practice another one just quickly. If I'm given an equation with a slope of 2, maybe it's y equals 2x plus 5. Identify the slope, it's 2, and I'm going to write it down as 2/1, so I have a ratio that I can flip upside down. To find the slope of a line perpendicular, I flip this upside down, I get 1/2. But wait a second, that's the reciprocal part. I also need the opposite part. So since the slope in this equation is positive, the slope for my perpendicular equation is going to need to be negative. They are reciprocals and opposite signs.